Well, I grew up basically in the sod field. Our family comes from Manitoba, and my dad and his brother were doing landscape construction work, and they actually had sod fields in Manitoba, and they were starting to do work in Alberta, and they couldn't get sod. So in 1969, they bought the home quarter here, which is actually across the road here, and Grandpa come out for a couple of years and started making sod. And then Dad split up with his brother in 1972, and he kept the home quarter here. And our family's been in Alberta since. And yeah, so we got since 1969 growing grass. When my dad started doing sod, they cut it by hand. So they were 1 by 3 pieces. So they had a board, and usually they had the sisters or whatever, the women would go and cut around the edge of the board, and then the men would cut underneath, right? And Dad said for one guy to go out and do 300 yards was a big day, because in them days they loaded it by hand too, and they delivered it by hand. So 300 yards now, we do that in about 10 minutes. And that was a full, big day for somebody to go and do by hand, right? And then they come out with little walk-behind sod machines, and they only cut a strip. So they still had to cut it in lengths, right? And they still loaded it by hand. And then there was a big innovation when they got the little hand cutters had to start getting a cutoff. So it did it all. I do is pick it up, put it on the truck or the pallet, right? And then Dad talked about hydraulics. When hydraulics come out, now we could have pallets and we could load it, put it on a pallet, load it, and take it and unload it.
Hi, my name is Anessa. I've been working at Bluegrass for quite a long time. I grew up in this business. It's my family's business. So I've been in the sod field my whole life. I grew up in Red Deer here at the farm, and I went to university in Calgary for business. So I did my 4-year business degree with a major in general management and a concentration in innovation and entrepreneurship. When I finished university, I knew I always wanted to be involved in our family business in some capacity, so I tried to tailor my degree to Bluegrass as much as possible. So when I finished university, I wrote my last university exam, and my dad said, if you want to be involved in the family business, you can move to Edmonton and help start a location there. So I've been doing that now for a few years, and it's going really well. I love it. One of my favorite parts about my job is selling sod. I've been involved with sod in some capacity for my whole life, so it is a passion of mine. And it's quite a process. So sod is on a 3-year crop rotation for us. So we seed it, grow it for 2 years, and cut it on the 3rd year. So it has a really established root base when it gets to your project. We've been growing this product in Alberta for over 55 years. So we know what we're doing. It's adjusted to be grown in Alberta's climate. It's very fresh and lush and green. We have a sod machine, and that's how grass gets off the field into perfect little rolls and into your yard. So let's see how that's done.
This is an automatic sod harvester, and it cuts, rolls it up, puts it on a pallet, and you don't have to do nothing by hand. And it even steers itself. These skis run along the edge of the grass, and it automatically steers itself. And then it cuts it off here. It cuts 2 24-inch strips, and then after it's cut off, it gets cut on the bottom here. And then it goes up the conveyor. And this is called the roll-up trays, and that rolls the sod up into these rolls. And then this is called the accumulator. So it accumulates 12 rolls, and then this is called the stacker, and it comes down, picks up 10 at a time and puts them on the pallet. And then we put 70 rolls, so 7 times 10 on a row, 70 rolls makes 700 square feet. and then it drops, and this is called the pallet injector. It puts a new pallet in, and it just keeps going.